So I think it's a fact that we had a site that was really good, did a great job a couple of years ago, but everything changes and it starts to look a bit old, a bit kind of too clunky is a word that was bouncing around a lot, and the navigation where the content was all over the place, and it had grown into a bit kind of an unwieldy beast. So a long overdue overhaul and much cleaner design and much simpler way to find the content you're looking for, which I guess is probably the most important thing if you're the user yourself.
So I think for me it's really two things. One was in the context of how we grow the digital business, job number one is to have a really terrific, kick-ass Mirror online site. It's our biggest brand, our biggest audience, our flagship business. That's a must. The second thing is I think our audience, in terms of sort of unique user numbers, is really good. Yeah. We've got a lot of people that visit us every day. I think as we sort of move forward, the focus becomes developing a richer, more engaged experience with them. So more pages per user, more time spent, just to get a site that people want to come to every single day and spend some time. Yeah. That in turn creates a more valuable, premium environment for advertisers.
The great thing about websites is you can see straight away whether you've made any difference or not, so we can check all the figures for like bounce rates for the home page and UK unique visitors and number of pages viewed per visit, amount of time per site. We'll be able to see really quickly if loads of the improvements we've made making a real difference to people's enjoyment on the site.
I think the other thing that I like are what I call daily updatables, things like crosswords, puzzles, news, opinion from people that you know, the Loose Women, Ian Botham, Robbie Savage, all these terrific names that we've got writing for the paper are brought forward in the site. Yeah. And we've got to, in the end, we're not reliant on Google. We want people to kind of go straight to our homepage every single day. Yeah. So we've got to build in a mixture of kind of live, news and entertainment content, as well as reasons to come every day. And I think this is a really good step forward in that direction.
This is actually central to what we've tried to do, is to make clear that we're a premium website. Because newspapers in the UK are the best in the world, their websites are the best in the world. It's important that they look like the best in the world as well, and that they technically work really well. And that's what we've achieved now, because I think in the future there will be a definite kind of point of difference between premium websites like ours and the rest of it. And it's important for us to be seen to be premium.
There's one more sort of on this why thing, which is more a personal one to sort of the team. We wanted a site that everyone felt express what we're about as a business. What's our why is a question that we've asked to pose to each other. A lot of the site that you see that's just launched is built on the entire team's input, and little ideas that they've talked about we're now seeing translate onto the site. And I think what will happen is everyone will go home and tell their friends and family about it, be really proud about what we've got out there. And tap it into that is super, super important. When we kind of thought about how we were going to build the site, our start point was a mixture of what do we know about consumers, what insights do we have, what are they really interested in, what's beginning to kind of trend, and how do we leverage that, how do we use that to inform our design and the navigation principles. Social is one of those big themes, and I think with the new site it really is a very tangible expression of sort of moving from a sort of almost a one-way view of the news. Here's the news and what's going on, which is we still present our view, but now users are really able to kind of give their view through the integration with our commenting platform, social integration, things like polls, things like competitions. It's a much more two-way process.
I think two of the things that I'm really excited about is the fact that we're really blessed at the Mirror as having two kind of standout brands aside from the Mirror itself, in Mirror Football and 3am. And I think we've got world-class properties there in football and in showbiz. And they are two of the most engaging, most popular areas online. So what's lovely about what we're doing with 3am and the new site is it's taking the blog we launched a couple of years ago and it blows it up to the next level completely. And that now becomes a fabulously engaging environment for people who love showbiz and all the stuff around showbiz, fashion, style, beauty, gossip, all that stuff. And Mirror Football has rocketed in popularity since we launched that. Now, when we, at the next stage, build that into mirror.co.uk, I seriously think we've got a great opportunity to own football, British football online, you know, to be a standout site for British football online in the world, you know. So that really is incredibly exciting for me as a journalist, you know, and a publisher.
Yeah. I think there's also a sort of a cultural shift in terms of our beliefs about a customer. So I think now we understand a customer is a customer wherever they are on the web. Our duty is to distribute content to those places, which is why you've got such deep Facebook integration, which is why you allow them to comment more on what we're doing on the site, but also we'll push that content out to them where they are.
Yeah, sure.
And that is quite a big change, I think, in terms of you know, how we think about who our customers are. I love the way that whilst a lot of the development's been done in-house here with our, you know, frankly terrific engineering team, it's also a sort of, partnerships are becoming increasingly important to us. And what I like about this first sort of iteration of the new site is, on one hand, we've got a fairly deep partnership with Facebook. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg talked about us as one of his early adopter partners at F8 at the end of last year. You know, Facebook is a key part of our plans. We're leveraging the social graph. We're really empowering users to use Facebook to log in, receive personalized content, post things out to their page, etc. So that's an example of a kind of big digital global partnership. At the other end of the spectrum, but you know, as important is partnering with the local startup community here. And Rumble Labs is our personalization sort of engine, London-based startup, VC-backed. And it's great that we're working with those folks as well. So I think, you know, that's important for the evolution of this business. Larger players, smaller players.
Those technology things aren't apparent to the customer, of course, but things like the new content management system make it quicker to publish, make it easier for people to put lots of photos in. The design doesn't truncate the headlines, so the last words are sliced off so you can actually see what they mean. Things like OpenText, the new tagging software, takes away from journalists the job of trying to work out exactly what phrases should be used to tag stuff, automates it all and produces some brilliant automatic tag pages making use of that technology. And things like Rumble Labs, the personalisation stuff, means that instead of, you know, obviously there's still a skill and an art in journalists curating sections of the homepage and the channel pages, but increasingly we can show users, you know, the content we know they want to see based on who they are and what content they've looked at previously.
I think that also translates from an advertising perspective as well.
Yeah,
and the other site we had is good, but there are quite a lot of adverts on there. So what we've, again, same way with the kind of content, we've decluttered that. It's cleaner. The ad units that we've got are the latest, the higher impact ones, the higher value ones. The belly band ad, the takeovers, the flexibility we've got, I think is really, really terrific. So again, the benefits we've got in engagement in terms of content, I think we'll also start to see a real big uplift in terms of performance and recall around the ads that we've got in there as well.
Which is the sign of a really good, engaging site, isn't it?
Right.
You know, and that again is where the difference comes in about being a premium site, is that people do pay attention to the marketing and the advertising and stuff.
And it's having the confidence to do that as well. I know I looked at the site one day, it was the middle of last year, and the fireplace didn't move when you scrolled the site up. And there's so little of the homepage devoted to actual real content. To have the confidence to row back from that, to go, you know, we're really proud of the content we do. We know that content, when put in front of people, will get people moving through the site, which actually leads to more exposure for the advertisers. I think, you know, scaling the advertising back, it looks so much classier now.
Important as we go on is doing what we didn't do perhaps in the past, which is reacting to that as well. So when we get that data back, changing the site to keep giving people what they want.
So if you think about what we do, I think it's clearly a very big, it's a leap forward. It's much more than a step forward. It's a big leap forward, but it's only the first tiny little step of how the site's going to live, breathe, evolve, and be iterated on. That people have really got to understand that. It's a great new experience, but it's just the start of what we've got lined up. The other thing in terms of when I think about what we're doing, again, it's three things for me. One is it's a combination of great digital design, talk about navigation, the way in which people can find content more easily, interact with it. The second is great world-class, I think, digital publishing, you know, real-time 24/7 news reporting, much more engagement with our users so they can kind of provide feedback into everything we do. And thirdly, technology. I think the most successful digital businesses are a fusion of those sort of three things.